and that's Mocha Bella. She's in here. So shouts out to Mocha Bella, and Sluggo is in here as well. And my man Brian Hill also had stopped by. So we got a few people in here and a few people listening as well. So I appreciate all the love that you show me here on the Two Live Stews Radio network. And again, it is your man Jelani, JB Bodie, host of this thing called the Wait a Minute Show. So we were talking about college hoops. Now we're going to stay in, the college hoops realm. An update to a story we were talking about a couple weeks ago. So the FBI, yeah, them guys, though they're probably listening now because I just said FBI, but the FBI raided offices, people's workplace, and made it known like, yo, we taking folks down. And this whole thing that this fraud, this basketball fraud. So if you haven't heard, basically it's all these parties. There's a lot of people involved. And Adidas, I think, was one of them, where this exec was giving money to assistant coaches, and assistant coaches was kind of steering these kids to go to certain schools, and because they were steering them to go to certain schools, they were getting paid money, thousands upon thousands of dollars, for them pushing these kids in a certain direction to help out these execs. So the FBI been doing an investigation for the past 5 years, I think I want to say, and they finally said, you know what, it's time to arrest some people. And one of the people they arrested was Chuck Person. Yes, that Chuck Person that used to play in the NBA. He was an assistant coach at Auburn, and they actually, gave him his papers, get him up out of there. And right now, Chuck Person is fighting to defend his character and if he's guilty or not. Now, he has pleaded not guilty to the fraud charges that they have put against him. Now, I'm not surprised by that, because if you did it, some people gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna fight it anyway. What I got to lose, on it. But he's saying that he did not do it. But this is the thing, when you say stuff like that, prosecutors have already said that they have, check this now, 16 hours, not minutes, hours of him on phone, having phone conversations. Now, the FBI just doesn't record, you talking to your boo thing or anything like that, and then they bring it to court. They got 16 hours of phone conversation. It's about you having a conversation with someone about probably a potential student athlete, I should say, student athlete, or an exec, or another coach, or maybe someone in the AAU program, or, a third party, or an assistant, maybe that's assisting you in this. 16 hours. And that's why 16 hours. I'm going to say that again, 16 hours. I just know it's probably not dead air. All of it dead air. Some of it is going to be he probably just talking about, hey, did you see last night's game or anything like that? But there's going to be some stuff in there that they're going to point out, that's going to point to him and beg the question, okay, why are you saying that you are not guilty? And it's sad because, unfortunately, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, of what has transpired. I'm not surprised at finding out that the FBI been investigating this. I'm not surprised that big time execs at companies are dishing out money. It's been happening for years, decades, if you will, and will it stop? No. I hate to say it, but no. They'll figure out another way to do it. They'll figure out another way to hide it or anything, anything like that. But it's just sad that you have grown people who are using these kids and that's exactly what they're doing. They're using these kids for their benefit. Whatever it is, because we're just talking about trying to steer kids, to certain schools. We haven't even gotten into the point of maybe that kid, needed some help with class or something like that. That goes into all the whole, these tutors helping them out, these tutors taking their tests for them, or they changing grades or anything like that. North Carolina had a big whole school scandal, about that. And the kids are the ones that probably lose out the most, because you're in an environment where because you're able to do something for these people currently at that time or at the present time, and they will bend the rules. They will deceive people. They will pay off people until you have no more value. And then you leave these kids that was operating in this world. Now they're not in that world no more. They're back in the regular world. And then you want them to operate how the rest of us have been operating in this world. And then they have problems. It's sad. It is just sad. And if Chuck Person is guilty of this, shame on him. Shame on him that you played in the NBA, you played college ball, you've been around this game that long, and what this game is giving you and the opportunity that this game is giving you, and you use this opportunity that's been given to you to do dirt. So he pleaded not guilty, so we'll see, what will happen. But if he's guilty, shame on him. Shame on all the assistant coaches, out there, but definitely shame on him if he is guilty. Shouts out to my man Big L, who's in the building as well. Again, it is your man Jelani JB Bodie. You're listening to the Wait a Minute Show. Me and my man Lopan tonight, Wednesday night, getting in your sports fix. So again, we got an action-packed show, so we're gonna move on from that, and we'll keep you up to date as things transpire or information rolls out, about this whole thing. Because I said it before. I don't think it just starts because the schools that's involved, you had schools like Auburn, and it was some other schools, and they're small, not small schools, but not necessarily powerhouse college basketball programs that of. But I just believe it's even more that's involved, and we're gonna find out how deep this thing runs. Update. We talked about last week, the UCLA men's basketball team, boys basketball team, whatever you want to call it, young gentlemen basketball team, they got back in the States. Well, they got back in the States a while back, but they had 3 players that did not, and they just recently got back into the States, and I'm sure they are happy. And those 3 gentlemen are, of course, LiAngelo Ball, Cody Riley, and Jalen Hill, all freshmen on the UCLA basketball team. So they have made it back out of China to the States, which that is good in itself. You got out of there unharmed. So kids, first off, give it to them for getting back over here to the United States unscathed, because it could have been a lot worse. So they had a press conference. I don't know if you've seen the press conference, but I watched the press conference or pieces of it. But they both, all 3 guys got up there. They were not taking any questions or anything like that, but they was reading off statements that were already written for them. And all the guys apologized, which, we expected, The one thing that I noticed that each and every one of them said, other than apologizing, and just saying, that was stupid of me to do something like that. Every last one of them made sure to state that the China police treated them very well, that nothing happened to them. And they also followed it up by thanking President Trump for helping out with that situation. And trust me, over there, I bet you anybody would have gave them help. They were like, yeah, Please come help us. But so they did admit to shoplifting. They did admit to it was a stupid, thing for them to do. They did admit their mistake. They did apologize. They apologized to the university. They apologized to fans. They apologized to friends. They apologized to family. And they apologized to anyone else. And they both, all three of them, spoke about, that they're going to have to learn from this. They're going to be better from this. This is not going to happen again. Now, the one thing about this whole situation, you best believe this is not going to happen again. They're kids. They're going to do something else stupid. But I think what this may have done, this is not being at your local mall in the United States and then, somebody come down and get you out of there. I think they realized the magnitude of what was going down. You got the president involved, stepping in to get you out of the state. Get you out of that country, back to the States. That's major. You cannot play around, with that. Now, having said that, I'm going to have to be a little critical of them. They're kids. I told you, they do stupid stuff. But how stupid can you be? When I was that age, I was pretty stupid on things. But I think I feel that I did a decent job, with minimizing the stupidity. It's going to happen. If I was down the street, I ain't stealing nothing, but definitely not out of the country. And it's sunglasses is what they're saying, that they stole. They probably don't know the stories, of Michael Fay, and all that stuff, getting caned and all that. They probably don't know that. But how silly can you be? Now, I'm just going to give you some stats and something to look at. Lopan pointed this out to me. Yes, you did, Lopan. And LiAngelo Ball, 6'5", second UCLA player. Cody Riley and Jalen Hill, which is the third, 6'10". You in China, brothers, black folks. Well, LiAngelo is mixed, but black folks in another country, and all of y'all are over 6'5". And probably you were wearing UCLA paraphernalia. You over there, they're giving you free clothes, you probably are over there. But 6'5" and higher, and you're out there stealing something. Like brothers who are 6'5" and higher, giant brothers don't stick, they are going to stick out. You are attracting attention to yourself just by being there. And the whole point, if you are going to steal something, which I am not advocating, but the whole point of stealing is to be as deceptive as possible. Shoplifting, I should say. If you're going to shoplift, the whole point is not getting noticed. But if you go in there and your head is scrubbing against the ceiling, guess what, man? People are looking. Y'all, how could it? I'm just like, I know their parents are just like, I know if that was one of my kids, I'm just looking at them like, really? 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 Like, come on, man. So, now, having said that, it was done. They got lucky. They got out of there. They got the help. People stayed, from the university with them there to make sure they were all right. It got the attention of the media. So it got, obviously they don't want anything to happen to these kids because they don't want to have a problem on their hands. So obviously they got these kids back unscathed or not hurt. But I want everyone at this point right now to give them the opportunity. And the opportunity that I'm speaking of is giving them the opportunity to prove that they are sorry. Give them that. They made a mistake, stupid mistake. They even mentioned themselves, stupid mistake, big mistake, just it never happened again mistake. So you have to give them an opportunity You cannot hang this over